At the moment, there are no new emails in my inbox, but my colleague Tanya is about to email me. And what will happen is the agent will see that email come in, it's going to draft a response, I'll go into this email and we'll see the draft reply ready to go. It's quite detailed, it's used all of the information about Project Alpha that is already in my inbox. I've been using Gmail for over 20 years, so let me show you 7 of my favorite tips for using it, and I'll show you a new AI agent that can read, organize, and even draft responses to your emails as well. Let's dive in. First, have you ever written an email and just as you clicked send, you realize there was a spelling mistake? Well, in Gmail, you can click undo on the bottom left of the screen and get that email back before the person has ever seen it. And you can change the amount of time that you have to do it as well. To do that, we just go into settings on the top right of the screen, click on see all settings, and we're looking for this one here where it says send cancellation period next to undo send. I have mine set to 30 seconds. There's no reason not to. It basically just means there's a 30-second delay before it's actually sent to the person. So once I've fixed that spelling mistake, the next thing I could do is actually schedule send it by clicking that arrow next to the send button, choosing schedule send, and choosing one of the times here, or even picking my own date and time. I actually want to send it on Tuesday in the morning like this, and I schedule send. And if you need to see emails that you've lined up to be sent on a schedule, just click on scheduled on the left-hand side of your inbox here. My third tip is great if you're in any kind of customer-facing role or roles where you're sending the same message often to many people. It might even just be a holding message letting them know that you will get back to them as soon as possible. So in this draft email, it's just a holding email that says, I'll get back to them within 48 hours. I don't want to have to keep typing this every time though. That's where templates come in. So I click on these 3 dots at the bottom of the screen here, go to templates, and I'm going to choose save draft as a template, and then choose save as new template. When I do that, it asks me to give the template a name. It automatically takes what I had in the subject line, and I click save. Now, if I go and compose a completely new email, I can click those same 3 dots, go to templates, and choose that thanks for your message template, and it will insert all of the text, and I just have to put the recipient in. And this works for the replies too. Now, my fourth tip isn't just about drafting emails, it's about organizing them. And if you don't use labels, then you probably should. Over on the left-hand side of Gmail, you can see there are a number of different labels that I have set up here. You can create a label by clicking the plus button. I might create a label called CEO, for example, and click create. And if I want to change the color, I can go and click on the 3 dots over here, mouse over label color and give it a color like green, like this. And then I can label emails in my inbox. I can do that in a couple of ways. I could tick the box on the left-hand side here, and up in the top of the screen, I can then click the CEO label like this. I love how this shows up in the inbox so I can see it really clearly. Obviously, I would use this to label emails from my CEO, or when you're inside an email reading it, you can do the same thing. Click label at the top, click CEO, and it will stay there as well. For my 5th tip, let's imagine then that I do want to find all of the emails from my CEO. I'm going to uncheck these ones here, and I'm going to click up in the search box. Rather than type anything though, I'm going to click this button here, which is show search options. And you see, it gives me lots of advanced search options. I can look for emails from a particular person or to a particular email address. I can search within a subject or words in an email, or even just search for emails that only have attachments. I'm going to type in the from field here and put my CEO's email address in like this, and then click search. And that shows me all of the emails from that person. Now, what you might not realize in Gmail, you can actually then just bookmark this page in your browser, and it will always bring me back to this search. Obviously, it will be up to date with any new emails that are in it as well. So I just click on the star icon on the right-hand side of the Omni box in my Chrome browser here, and you can see that's been added to the bookmarks bar. You can see that now I get this search results option on the bookmarks bar here. All of these emails are from my CEO, so for my final tip, I want to turn this into a filter that will automatically label these with that CEO label that I've created. So I'm going to click back up in the top here, and click on the show search options button again. You can see that I've already got from here. And when I'm adding in these elements, it's just adding search operators in the search box. So you could type those yourself. You could type from : and then an email address and have the same result. What I'm going to do this time though is click on create filter at the bottom of the search panel. And it gives me a bunch of options. One of them is to skip the inbox. I can automatically mark emails as read. I can delete it, which is great if you're getting spammed. Or I can tick this one that says apply the label, going to choose the CEO label. And before I click create filter, I'm going to click this box that says also apply the filter to 9 matching conversations. So Gmail will look back in the past at all of the previous conversations that match this filter and then do that action. So I click create filter. And now, in a moment, you see all of these emails from Tanya have now been marked with the CEO label. Now, this is all good, but obviously each of these things requires a level of input from me, whereas it would be really nice if some of those replies, for example, could be drafted on my behalf, or the emails labeled automatically too. So let's have a look at Jotform's new Gmail AI agent that can do some of those things for us. So I'm going to start on the agent page here. You can scroll down to find out a bit more detail and some examples of how this works. One of the main things this agent's going to do is draft replies to emails that I've received based on all of the emails and replies that I've sent in the past, so they will sound like me and be relevant with the information they provide too. There's a bit more information about how this works on this page, and one of the other things that the agent can do is automatically create and label emails too. So to get started, I just click up in the top right of the screen here. It's going to ask me to connect my Google account. I need to click continue through the different options here, and then the agent is going to get to work looking at my inbox to understand what emails I receive and then train itself on my tone of voice and my inbox as a whole. It will take a few minutes, so you can go and grab yourself a coffee and then come back once it's done. So the agent has done its initial training. I get taken to this screen. Obviously right now there are no drafts yet because I haven't received any emails. We'll see that happen in a moment. But if you want to do some additional training, I can switch over to the train tab at the top of the screen here, and you can see it's created its own knowledge base based on the contents of my emails. And if I wanted to, I could expand these here to check on the notes that it's created about each of maybe the projects that it's found and so on. I can go back and actually add files of my own as well. So for example, you might have an FAQ document that looks something like this. Let's say I'm running a baking shop here. The FAQs already exist, so I can just add that file. And I could say, use these to answer customer questions if they're relevant. This, I click save, and now that is added to my agent's training data, so it will use it as it starts drafting replies to my emails. And honestly, this is still just scratching the surface. Over on the left-hand side here, there are a bunch of different tools I could choose from. So for example, the escalate to human tool is already enabled, and if I click on here, I can edit what's already there. And you can see that I'm going to get notified via email when it has something that it needs to tell me, but I could enable WhatsApp and get a message there too. And there might be some kind of workflow or project I'm working on or types of emails I get that need a really specific type of response or a specific action from the agent. That's where I can go to actions over here. And you can see I choose the channel. Right now it's all channels, which is fine. It's going to look at my email inbox. And I can say when a user wants to talk about and then say a specific topic like Project Alpha, for example, and then I can choose something that I wanted to do. I could even get the agent to go and fill out a specific form with the details. I could tell it to always talk about a particular thing when Project Alpha is mentioned, or tell it to avoid saying something specific to, or even just send a different email maybe to someone else. So I can draft an email here. I can choose the recipients that would get sent to. So maybe, for example, I have a group email address for everyone working on Project Alpha, and they would be notified when someone has asked a question about it. Now, back on the Publish tab at the top of the screen here, I can also edit the settings here. So if I click on the settings gear just here, all of the settings relating to the agent itself are over here. For example, it will automatically learn from my emails and it will adjust its tone and so on as a result. I can add a custom greeting that it will always include at the beginning, choose whether it has its own signature or just uses the one from my account if I have one, and it will delete drafts after a certain number of days if I don't use them so that then it doesn't clog up my drafts as well. You can also decide if there's a note at the end saying that that was an AI-assisted reply, and there are some advanced settings. For example, selecting which labels the agent will automatically apply to emails based on its understanding from all of its knowledge and all of the learning that it's done. And you probably don't want the agent replying to just transactional emails like receipts or invoices coming through, so you can choose those options at the bottom here as well. So let's see this in action then. At the moment, there are no new emails in my inbox, but my colleague Tanya is about to email me. So Tanya's email has come in here. And what will happen is the agent will see that email come in, it's going to draft a response, and in a moment I'll go into this email and we'll see the draft reply ready to go. So just to check, if I switch back to the Jotform tab here, we can see that there's now one draft email, And there's a shortcut here to go and view drafts, but let's just go and click into that email now back in my inbox. And you can see that the draft has been created. It's quite detailed. It's used all of the information about Project Alpha that is already in my inbox and has offered to arrange some time with Tanya to walk through a demo as well. In fact, when I read this all looks good to me, and I could then just hit send once I'm happy. So whilst you might have spent tons of time in the past manually dealing with everything in your inbox from labels and filters and organization and drafting all of your own replies, now you can save some of that time and get it back to do the work that really matters, the stuff that really needs your brain power, and let Jotform's Gmail AI agent take the reins and help draft those replies for you. I hope this was helpful. If it was, drop it a like and subscribe. Leave any questions you've got in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.